Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings today. We have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads: AGF Malami replies the 6 U.S. senators on Sowore. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish video on YouTube. All right, let's look at the news in detail. Nigeria Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, has denied receiving any letter from U.S. lawmakers over the continued detention of Omoyele Sowore, who is in DSS custody, and also the publisher of Sahara Reporter. Dr. Umar Gwandu, Malami's media aide, and said no such letter got to Malami's office before the close of work last Friday. Besides, Gwandu pointed out, and I quote, he said, foreign policy convention do not support direct correspondence between the office of the Attorney General of the Federation and serving legislatures of a foreign country. He said the Ministry of Foreign Affairs could be an appropriate ministry for such correspondence. Attorney General of the Federation finds media reports on the purported claim of such corresponding to his office peddled by some unscrupulous element in the society as not only inappropriate but inaccurate. It is essential to put in the record that the so-called letter has not been received at the office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami San as the close of work on Friday, 20th December 2019, Gwandu said. In their letter addressed to Malami, U.S. lawmakers complain over the continued detention of Sowore, and according to them, they said, we request that you take immediate steps to work to facilitate a speedy and fair resolution to the current circumstances of his redetention and ensure that they receive a legally sound and credible trial consistent with Nigerian established judicial proceeding and the rulings that follow. The lawmakers warn that Nigeria risks tarnishing its international reputation over Sowore's indefinite detention, and that it will be in the best interest of Nigeria to protect and uphold a very legal system that provides for stability and open dialogue. The letter was signed by 6 lawmakers, and their names are as follows: Cory Booker, who is a senator; Robin Menendez; Charles Kuma, who is also a senator; Christopher Coons, who is a senator; Bill Baskril, who is a congressman; and John Gutamar, who is a congressman. Sowore, who is a former presidential candidate under the ACC, was arrested on August 3rd in Lagos at around 1:25 a.m. for planning a revolution now protest in Nigeria. All right, you have heard the reactions of Malami, but I think, does it really matter whether he has received it or not? I think the most important thing right now is to respond to some of those things that the 6 lawmakers have made mention of, which is globally respected internationally. That's about the issue of the rule of law, supremacy of the law. It has been downtrodden. The legal system of Nigeria has been trashed, has been talked down upon, and this is the low point of this administration. I think that he should forget about whether it has been received or it's not ideal for it to be sent directly into his office. It must have contact with ministry of whatever. The issue is that the foreign bodies, the United States of America, is putting their spotlight here in Nigeria, and they are complaining of the redetention of Sowore. And I think it is in the position of the Attorney General and also Minister of Justice of Nigeria, Mr. Abubakar Salami, to respond to it than to talk down on the fact that it was not being received by his office. If you go online, the letter is already there, fully been signed, by those people. And if you even check on the video, the pictures that are going down, you will see that letter, it has been fully signed by those guys, the 6 lawmakers, just to show you how serious it is. Though he says he has not received it, I think for them to do the right thing is for them to follow what has been advised, which is the legal framework, the legal way of handling this issue. There must be respect once again for our rule of law. The sanctity of the court must be restored. Court orders must be honored. So, which means all what they're talking about right now is the fact that Sowore should be released. That is what they are saying. If there had been strong court orders that this guy should be released, he should be released. Though we have heard that the Senate have considered, they have demanded for a report from the justice who was present during the time that as he was forcefully being arrested in the court. That Ijoma, she was around, Justice Ijoma Ojukwu, who was in charge of the case, that she should send in a report about that event. The office of the Attorney General of the Federation should also send a report, and other persons were also mentioned. Even the lead counsel of the defense, that the lead counsel of Sowore, should also send in his report. But unfortunately, they have embarked on Christmas break to resume on the 28th, which clearly shows that if the Attorney General of the Federation will do not take this letter sent to him by the 6 lawmakers of the United States, it therefore means that Sowore will have to stay there, because I stayed in DSS custody till 28th of January, when the lawmakers in Nigeria will be resuming their work. And this is really terrible. And what do you have to say about this?
Well, for me, this, even when you say Senate should meet, if they can't, if the rule of law has been trampled upon, I feel that this is a time-wasting strategy, it's time-wasting tactics that AGF is using, and it may not all go well for Nigeria, because the truth be told, the world has become a global village due to the advancement of technology. I could still remember when Loretta, who happened to reply Senator Bob Menendez during his first broadcast on this same issue, she didn't send a mail, she didn't send a letter via mail to the United States. No, she didn't do that. She didn't need to do that. And Bob Menendez also didn't need to send any special letter, although he actually did send the first time via the embassy, American embassy here in Nigeria. But what he actually did was, there was a video, showing that the United States senators are watching, the spotlight are on the matter. And what Loretta practically did was, she used the internet. Yeah, she actually did an open letter tagging the senator, explaining to the senator that this is what's happening. That does he know that Omoyele Sowore is actually a politician who wanted to violently upsurge the administration of the day and all that. Did she need to use? Did she need to go through the protocols that AGF Malami is saying? No, she didn't. But eventually, the senator got the mail, got the message, because it was everywhere. Everyone got to see the message. It was an open letter, just as this one. We all get to see the message. You will see the letter as it's flowing as you're talking. Now, the question is, even when he replied the letter, he mentioned those points that Loretta mentioned, that regardless of your political affiliation, which means whether it's an opposition, they have the right to express their criticism without fear of their lives, which means he actually did say what Loretta wrote, which also means that what AGF is doing is trying to work in the 1942 way. We are in digital times. So if everyone has seen the letter, why are you saying you have not seen the letter? You have seen the letter. If everyone has seen the letter, Everyone has seen the letter. How come you have not seen it?
The media has seen it.
Which means you have seen it. You are just buying time. You want to go through the analog way and let the letter come to my office. Then hey, it has delivered to me. Then I will now sign and acknowledge. Oh, please, we have gone beyond that. And maybe that's why we are where we are in Nigeria. Everything is still being done in the 1982 way, while we are actually ahead of time. I feel that instead of responding this way, he should actually give them good response. Why this is not taking place, or why Sowore should be spending the days in DSS detention, or why should be spending Christmas in DSS detention as against spending Christmas Yuletide with his family.
Exactly.
And when you don't have good reasons, technically, you buy time. You just begin to meander, give excuses that are not really reasonable. If not, if you have good and tangible reasons, just the same way you are responding now, and he's getting to hear, it's the same way you would have said, these are the reasons, and these are the reasons.
Yes.
But he's not saying it. He said you have not seen it. You have passed through the foreign ministry, and that one is Greek. You are speaking Greek. Say it in plain man's language. And if you know you don't have any excuse why Sowore should be kept in detention, then you release him.
Exactly.
It's becoming embarrassing.
Exactly. Just like my colleague has said, it's becoming overly embarrassing. The truth is, there is no legal reason behind this guy being kept. Already, the competent court of jurisdiction had already said that this guy can be bail, and the bail conditions were given. And he has met the bail conditions. If he has met the bail condition, automatically he should be allowed to go. He will be coming from the house to attend whatever during any time date they give to him. He will be coming to attend it, and until we get to the root of the whole matter, the verdict will be out and Nigerians will know the right thing has been done, than playing around with words and all of that and still keeping him under detention while the bail conditions. Why then did we have to go that far, or paying so amount of money, making so amount of money available, 150 million naira, giving it and all of that? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all. And that's why we are really, really emphatic about this, so that Nigeria, at least for once, we can be spoken well of, because right now our names have been tarnished seriously. It is high time we correct all these wrong things that are happening in the system.
We are still talking about the 6 senators. Right now, as we speak, Sowore's wife has gone to UN.
To CNN.
To UN. She went to CNN, yeah. And that she's actually appealing in UN that UN should intervene. So if 6 senators are talking and you are meandering, AGF, imagine when UN also lay their voice in this. Why are we bringing this kind of unnecessary shame to Nigeria? If you don't have any excuse, let him go. By the time UN comes in now, plus 6 senators and all that, it now looks as if only you. What is it? Let him go. And according to her, she's not going to relent anytime soon. Says she's not going to rest. She's going to put everything in her power, within her power, even if it means UN coming into this matter, so that Sowore, her husband, she called him Yele, would come home. So if he has been, he has perfected his bail term, it's not as if, let him go. Is this something more that Nigerians don't know? Let him go.
Before now they were talking about DSS coming up with fresh allegations of involvement in terrorism and involvement in terrorism, that he has been working hand in hand with Boko Haram, and that was really maddening, and they talked about him also working hand in hand with this guy, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is the lead person for indigenous people of Biafra and all of that. That was not reasonable at all. And one of the things that gave a lot of people hope was the fact that when the Attorney General of the Federation and Justice Minister sent a letter to DSS, said transfer the file to us, everybody were thinking that the rule of law has, shown itself, that the rule of law for once will be respected. Why? Because the Attorney General is taking over the case. The Minister of Justice is taking over the case. So we had a certainty that everything will come to rest. So immediately that happened, Falana Hato, who is the defense lead for Omoyele Sowore, had to send him a letter immediately and tell him, please do well to release this guy immediately, because we know that you have uphold the law with so much respect. Release this guy, because he said no, he's not. He doesn't have that exclusive right to release it. That the court itself must. People now, what Nigerians now started reacting. If you are talking about the court, giving orders for this guy to be how about the two court orders that we have that he should be released, which these people flout? That's DSS flout. Now that he's in your custody, why not release this man? Up till now, he has not responded to it. And I believe that's the reason why you see him dancing around saying, we have not seen it. How did you know that they have written to you? How did you know that they have written to you? Wake up, answer it. But guess what? You should always remember where you are coming from. It's overly important. It's not all about now. How about 5 years after now, when this government is gone? Would you be able to stand up among other legal luminaries to talk before your colleagues? Would you be able to defend the law again? Would you be able to open your mouth and say anything about law again? When in your own time, the sanctity of the court was desecrated? When during your time, the rule of law was trampled upon? Well, how would you talk during that time? Forget about today. Forget about what all these things are playing. There's another 10 years ahead of you, 20 years ahead of, 30 years ahead of you. These are some of the things that you should look at first of all and call the government of Nigeria and say, please, I wouldn't like to meddle in this whole thing. Please, let's release these guys for once. If they refuse, why not throw in your white paper and resign your appointment just to protect and respect yourself? It's overly important. There is a day called tomorrow, and we must respect that day. That's where we're going to leave it. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you think about the response given by the Attorney General of the Federation and also Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, who is Advocate of Nigeria, on the letter that had been sent in?